Good morning, honorable members, the chair of Standing Committee on Coghsta and chairperson of Treasury, and all honorable members, acting HOD, and the staff, and everybody who's here, from the Sekhukhune Municipality. My name is Sekhukhune. I'm the program director for this meeting. I'm the chairperson of this meeting. I'm the chair of chairs. We have invited you to this meeting to have an interaction with the municipality on issues that the AG has reported in the legislature. The MEC for Treasury has presented a report to the legislature. If you will remember, there was a problem in terms of how do we then interact with municipalities as provincial government and national government. And this is a way of interacting with municipalities, issues of accountability, of how do we assist municipalities. So on that basis, the two committees of the provincial legislature, together with Coghsta and Treasury, have invited you to this meeting for you to make a presentation. I thought as a way of welcome, I must deal with that. Can we deal with the issue of introduction? As I indicated, my name is Sekhukhune, chair of chairs in the Provincial Legislature.
Chairperson of the Committee on Coghsta is James Iburu.
Maseka Pierre, chairperson of Treasury, Pierre Maseka.
My name is Gagarin Rapali, a member of the Committee on Treasury.
Yepugan Mawu, a member of the Provincial Committee on Coghsta.
Return the Deputy Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Gatum Klope, Portfolio Committee member of Coghsta. Morning, I'm Belapipa Magula, the member of Committee Air Provincial Treasurer.
Machete PC, committee member Coghsta.
Chair Salami, Portfolio Committee Treasurer.
Good morning, Margaret. Somewhere from Coghsta, Treasury's office. Thank you.
Morning, I'm Ayib Halani. I'm from Coghsta, the Director under Municipal Infrastructure Development Kenya. Good morning, it's Angela Maibaji, the acting DDG in Coghsta.
Good morning, I am Coghsta Semenya. I am the acting HOD for Provincial Treasury today. Thank you.
Good morning, Megila Mona, Coghsta, Municipal Finance.
Morning, Mitoli Patience, Limpopo Provincial Treasury, Municipal Finance, Director responsible for scope of district.
Okay. From Sekhukhune, I don't know who's leading the delegation. Can you make your introduction?
Yes. Thanks very much. Greetings to all members, chairperson of the session, and Council Coast Services, leading the delegation of the municipality, group executive.
So the accounting of municipality in my acting capacity, and also to render his apology. He's on annual leave due to family responsibilities, and I'm acting on his behalf till next week. Thank you, Chair.
My substantive post in the municipality is Director of Corporate Services.
Thank you very much. Ramwe Tawani Peter, Chair of Chairs, Sekhukhune District Municipality, on behalf of this. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think I should state it from the onset that the letter of invitation was specific. Mayor, the MM, the CFO, and the Speaker. This committee is not happy that we take it, the Speaker, the that an apology that is not well, we can't do anything about the MM is on an annual leave. But on matters of this kind, to find it that he could take time just to come and listen to what we're saying. And you said the Speaker, what's happening with the Speaker? Okay. It's not going to belabor this matter. We're going to discuss it in committee. What we want to do is to welcome you to this. Also, for emphasis, I'll ask the chairperson of the portfolio committee, Honorable James Boru, to indicate the purpose of the meeting. And we need to indicate that this is a public meeting. It's being broadcast. So whatever you say, whatever you do, you must know that the whole of Limpopo and South Africa is watching. And we also want to welcome our viewers from this social media platform. Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for affording me the opportunity to present the purpose of the meeting. Section 114 2B of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, together with the Rule 45C of the Standing Committee Rules and orders of the Limpopo Province, provide for the provincial legislature to maintain oversight of the provincial executive authority and any provincial organ of the state. Section 71 of the Municipal Finance Management Act requires all municipalities to submit monthly budget statements to the Provincial Treasury by the 10th working day of each month. In response to this mandate, a joint portfolio committee on Coghsta and the Limpopo Provincial Legislature and Treasury planned to conduct an oversight accountability on selected municipalities, amongst which is Sekhukhune district. We have started with you as Sekhukhune district, not because we hate you, but because you happen to be number 1 on the list. Others will follow. In response to this mandate, as I've said, the joint portfolio committees have planned this meeting. What we need to attend to is not only on oversight, but also to give support to municipalities such as your good selves. The Honorable Chair here has emphasized our disclaimer that in future this not need to happen. We are lucky to start with. Others won't be allowed to proceed without the relevant officials. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Chair. You know, when you are in Scopa, you are fortunate that you have not been called to Scopa. In Scopa, they ask you, if they say you are an executive, I think you are an executive mayor now. Do you have a letter?
I do.
Then you give it to us.
Yeah, I think I sent
No. If you have it, you must give
I
it.
do.
Yes, you must give it to us. You are acting letter. Chair of chairs. Yeah? Okay. We will go to the business of the day. We will ask you to make your presentation, Executive Mayor.
Chairperson, flag it on the screen.
Yeah, no. Start. Executive Mayor.
Yeah, thanks, Chairperson. Greetings to once more to you, Chairperson, and honorable members present here. On the screen, Chair, there's a presentation outline of the contents of the presentation. The first one, corporate revenue and expenditure of the municipality, followed by capital spending, debt management, MIG and Schedule B grant. Low spending in the current year, reasons for non-spending and affected projects. Challenges that led to the National Treasury withholding the transfer of grants to the municipality. Move on. Yeah, Chairperson, on our part of revenue and expenditure, we have the following plans to sustain and maintain the...
Sorry, Executive. Sorry. Okay. You know, I thought,
Hello, I thought the executive man will deal with the.
I thought we'll deal with the politics and leave technical matters to technical people. 3 hours, say, how are you? We are fine.
Request the ATM to deal with the
ATM.
I think.
Thanks, ATM, and Chair, once again, greetings to you. If you may allow just for me to observe protocol. Chair, rather say as a municipality, we actually have put together a presentation that we believe it talks to the most critical issues. More especially, as you've indicated, Chair, that there's a number of issues that the AG has raised. And through this presentation, we're going to try and address those issues, Chair. First, Chair, I'm not so sure if this is the very first slide. If we can, okay, yeah. Can we go back to the next slide, please? Firstly, Chair, on this slide, we are talking to, in short, the financial sustainability of the municipality, if I may put it in that manner. From an operating revenue and expenditure point of view, to say, as a municipality going forward, given where we are now and where we come from, what are the plans by the municipality to make sure that in the future we remain financially sustainable and less reliant on the government grants and subsidies. And what we are doing is that we actually have developed and are currently implementing a revenue enhancement strategy that is aimed at expanding our revenue base. The base in the main is the provision of sanitation services. And just to talk in detail to the strategy itself, shows that at the moment the government grants and subsidies to fund the capital projects and also the operations of the municipality. The ratio we are sitting for funding model is 90% government grants and subsidies, and the remaining which then gives you the, even if you were to collect 100% of your own revenue sources, you're still reliant heavily on the funds. And the reason why we came up with this strategy is, with time, the plan is that we see a change or bringing into balance that proportion wherein now the funding, the capital projects and other operational activities, the government grants. We also have wherein we've implemented as far as the municipality was established. And that has actually assisted debts which were actually owed to the municipality by the business community. In the current year, as we speak now, our mining clients, they are actually in the Provincial Debts Forum, wherein there are engagements as the Public Works and the Department of Education, and the engagement at the reconciliation stage. And some of the accounts, as we speak now, they are at a good standing. The key challenges currently grow the revenue base. We need to have more projects that are unfortunate situation is that previously we've had projects which were not completed on time. Some projects, but what we have done as the current administration change, that we actually have funding and as well as the equitable share to make sure that we complete those projects. Speaking here today, we have appointed two a fiscal conditioning assessment. That is the bulk line here, they go up to Jane First as well as they go to East and West, as we try to make sure that we try and unlock those projects, because we've got a lot of reticulation projects that are completed, but they are not able to provide the surrounding villages with water because there's no bulk supply. So if you complete those two bulk projects, then we would have actually unlocked that will give to that will supply water to the people of Sekhukhune. Water you supply, the more billing and the more money you as revenue. Can we move on to the next slide, please? On this slide here is just a highlight of capital budget in the current year, and I'll focus on the last 4 columns with the amounts. Adjusted budget on capex. It just shows of the municipal infrastructure fund, how much is it that was allocated to the municipality going into the current financial year and also the next 2 financial years, without having to talk to the individual amounts, talk to the performance here at the municipality in terms of the spending. In the current year, or the year under review, which is 24 to in terms of the allocation, we achieved 100% spending. However, let me indicate that that was a allocation that was reduced by about 100 million, and all that money was spent as of the 30th of June 2025. Approved a rollover. We 39 million of it we registered in 9, which we ring-fenced through the equitable share going into this 25-26 financial year, because National Treasury wouldn't allow an application on those projects that are affected will be completed as planned, Chairperson. In the current or the year under review 24-25, in terms of the Schedule 5B, there was none. And in terms of the Schedule 6B, we have those projects as listed at the bottom of that table. And we also just want to give assurance here, Chair, that the planning from an implementation perspective, we already have appointed the consultants. We at the advertising stage, most abandoned, and they are very old projects, and as I've indicated, as a municipality, we just trying to make sure that we unlock and make sure that those old projects are being completed. These are the 5 projects from Beggars. One is from Beggarsford, and then one is from Marble Hall, Coghsta water treatment works, and there's one in Rosenthal as well. and yeah, the other one is in Duarte as well, and that is the breakdown in terms of the allocation from the National Treasury in terms of the breakdown. Can we move on to the next slide, please? I think on this slide, it actually talks to what I've just highlighted now in terms of the plans of the municipality in completing those projects which have been going on for quite some time now. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Also on this slide, Chair, that is where we are talking to the spending on MIG in the 24. We've managed to spend that money, all of it, spending. Can we go to the next slide? And then in terms of the areas, Chair, which were the projects, would say east and west, as well as different phases as indicated on the screen. There's also and there's refurbishment of Fontaine wastewater treatment works, the refurbishment Fontaine water works as well. And I've indicated, Chair, that my reduction in terms of the allocation from the National Treasury, we were able to ensure that there is progress in terms of the implementation of this project. Coghsta to Lukau already completed, where they are now on phase 3 of that pipeline, and also on Mutse, one phase is completed, and the people of that area, they are through a session to procure the steel tanks, and the delivery of the steel tank was scheduled 25, and also the refurbishment of treatment works. I think there is a typing error. The other refurbishment is for penalty water treatment works. The contractors already appointed. They are on site as we speak for the implementation of those two projects, Chair. So just to give a breakdown of that there is progress as planned, and we should be able to get complete phases of those affected projects. Next slide, please. Chair, I've indicated in terms of the strategies on the business community, how we are collecting from the business community, and also how we the government departments. The area that I haven't spoken to is the strategy on how we collected in July, which is the last month. The implementation here, the smart metering program. Meter solutions, because in the main, the reasons why there's a history of non-payment, they firstly consume the water, and so that is where we are actually striking, and it actually is becoming a challenge for the municipality to implement the post-collection billing type of an arrangement. Hence, we went the route of smart metering. We launched in July around Beggarsford. It's our pilot area. Why Beggarsford? Because Beggarsford is our biggest town, and that is actually, and let me say Duarte is our biggest town, and that is actually where most of our revenue comes from. And that's where we've launched. As we speak now, the installations have started. We started Katlenko, which is our biggest client in goods spending, and installation in other clients will resume immediately after. We also have data, Chairperson. And how we did that is that we keep on updating annually our indigenous, our billing data. And we are doing that on an annual basis. Can we move on to doing our allocations on the grant? Already I've spoken to that. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Next slide. Next slide. Okay. In addition, Chair, I'd like to perhaps touch on the audit opinion, Mr. General. Firstly, let me indicate, Chair, that we have been stagnant for quite some time now. When I joined the municipality, I think it's about 4 years ago, they were qualified 2 years in a row. And the municipality was using consultants for the preparation of the annual financial statements, for the review of the annual financial statements, and took a decision to do away with the consultants and start make sure that we own up to the audit findings, we understand what are the issues, and we resolve the issues throughout the year, not only when the auditor is in-house. And can give confirmation, Chair, that we are doing well in resolving those audit findings. From the last audit, we were qualified only in 2 areas, so we only had the 2 qualifying paragraphs. So we managed to reduce the paragraphs from 29 to 2 paragraphs. We were qualified in the area of the leave base, and then we were qualified also on the area wherein the auditor wanted to reconcile our irregular expenditures from the day the municipality was actually established, which was a bit of a during the current financial year or the year under review, to make sure that we attend to. We are quite confident that we should be able to can resolve those 2. We also have made put in controls to make sure that we have been doing as a municipality. It hasn't been a simple journey. We also just wanted very complex paragraphs, but much as we've been stagnant, there's quite good with what we are currently doing now. Everything is done in-house. My office as the Chief Financial Officer, and we were able to can build the interns that we have grown so well that are currently constituting that team that is doing the financial statements and returns. We are doing it in-house ourselves, and we are in good standing with SARS. We are only outstanding with the current month. We've claimed everything, we've been refunded everything. On debt collection, the municipality was in consultants. We are doing it in-house as we speak. So that is one aspect that I just wanted to in detail to say. From outside, when you see a qualified audit opinion, it doesn't matter how many paragraphs you've reduced. People want to see either an unqualified audit opinion or the so-called clean audit. But internally, we are taking it very seriously, and we are doing much to make sure that we get out of that qualification, Chairperson. We also had around 2 material irregularities, and they were emanating from these very old projects which were not completed. And also the use of consultants. And I'm happy also to report, Chair, that in the last audit we were able to get resolved all those material irregularities. As we speak now, we don't have any material irregularities. So the progress is there, Chair, much as it's very slow, but it's heading, we are headed into the right direction, and we want to put this sitting in confidence that we shall come all right, Chairperson, and I thank you. I'll ask that I proceed.
Marks the end of our presentation to the committee.
Thank you. You are a CFO.
I'm the chief financial officer.
Robert, what do you do? I'm not a CFO.
No, I'm here.
Can you say?
I'm the chief.
When you were again, Charlie?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Yeah, Salina stories Sekhukhune. Ne? Lero rubuje Salina, Kalina. Agar Sekhukhune minan lidu. Nelike retam. We have two paragraphs. We are collecting. Get me. One Ikwansa in a story. Then the Tablela, the Takakancha, storage, and that's how we call it with Jackson. Let me see. I think I must hand over to you. Now we will come and maybe each of you will assist so that we should be procedure. Then you will learn
to allow.
Thank you, MC.
This is a joint presentation from Provincial, Treasury and Coghsta. I will try not to repeat.
Makawa Benzi, Y HKR 741L. Your window is open. Come and see this. HKR 741L. Le first time la toilet.
Thank you, Chairperson, and set all the protocols. This is our presentation. As I've indicated, it's a joint presentation from both Provincial, Treasury and Coghsta to present the state of the Sekhukhune district. The first few slides, they relate to Provincial overview. I'm going to skip some of them because then we will then go straight into the state of affairs of Sekhukhune district as a municipality. But just to also confirm that yes, there is a provincial debt forum where we assist the municipalities to resolve the issues that they have with the municipalities, and also to indicate that on the service delivery point of view, none of our municipalities, including Sekhukhune, are compliant with the blue drop and the green drop. There is an action plan that is in place where municipalities, including Sekhukhune, assisted by DWS, Coghsta and MISA. So these are the stats. I'm not going to go much into them. The municipality does have an MPEC as well, which is functional. I'm just going to fly through all these slides just to go to the most relevant issues. With regards to the audit account, the CFO has already presented. As you can see, compared to the other municipalities within the district. With regards to the budget funding, the municipality has been able to fund their budgets only in 2021-22, where the budget was not funded the adjustment budget. However, in terms of the budget that has been implemented, that is currently implemented as well for the 2025-26, that budget is funded. We've spoken to the government debts, and as indicated, the challenge that is mainly there is the dispute on the unregistered government properties, and through the debt forum, that's where we assist the municipality in resolving such problems. And as you can see, our biggest departments that we have challenges with is the DPWRI, the National Public Works. So we will then move to the staff establishment with regards to the Sekhukhune district. There is one vacant at that level, at the executive management level of the Chief Operations Officer. The municipality has not adopted the code of ethical leadership, and it is the only one that it is it's only one municipality within the district that is actually of leadership. So we then move to the actual Section 71 report as end of March 2025. If you see there the yellow line there, that relates to the actual figures as reported through the National Treasury database. The municipality here, it shows that it has actually raised more revenue than what was anticipated by 22%. And however, in terms of the expenditure also was more than what was anticipated. The expenditure was 1.0 billion compared to the 967 that was budgeted at the end of that period. Of our concern is that you will see that there is transfers and subsidies, capital in kind, which does not necessarily have the budget. That actually there are mistakes on the data streams that are submitted to National Treasury, and on this item, even though there is no budget, it actually shows that there is a challenge that are there within the system. On this slide, the capital revenue and expenditure, the municipality, as at end of March, they had spent 9%. There was a variance there, which was of a concern, but we must indicate that now that we are busy with the finalization of the municipality has actually managed to spend all the grants. However, there is a role for is that will not necessarily be approved anyway. As you can see, the internally generated funds, which are the funds that the municipality is generating themselves, out of those funds only 40 million was spent in relation to the 76 million that was planned. So basically, as end of March, the spending was critically low. With regards to the conditional grants, as we have indicated that the expenditure was low, I would like to go to the conditional grant that would then be lost by the municipality. Now in this slide you can see these are the rollover of rollover. As a result, the municipality will then lose this 9 million rand. Although we do appreciate the fact that for the current financial year, they are not going to lose any money. This is one of the issues that it is of a concern, because if we do not spend all our conditional grants, we will then lose the funds that are allocated to the municipality. And with regards to the cash flow statement, as at end of the quarter of ending March, the municipality closes books with 945 million. However, I must indicate that as the accuracy of the figures, it's quite a concern for us. debtors over 91% of the debtors for the municipality are over 90 days, which means that some of them they may be over a year. That then puts the municipality in a difficult position in terms of the cash flow or the money that they are supposed to be collecting, so that they can then invest it back into service delivery. With regards to the creditors, in our assessment, this is also not accurate because the aging is not accurate. It shows that over 90 days there are no creditors. However, we are aware that with the engagements that we've been having between ourselves as Treasury, Coghsta, and the municipality itself and the Bell and Northern Water, there are amounts that are owed over 90 days, and we have had engagements and the agreements that still need to be finalized and the records that have taken place. So this is an indication that there is an accuracy within their system there. Now, this municipality in our assessment is classified as in a risk of a financial distress. The reason being that a municipality will be in a financial distress risk if the ratios that we have calculated, 6 of them at least, are in the red. As you can see with Sekhukhune district, most of the ratios are relating to asset management. The municipality does have the cash, obviously, and the cash coverage is good. However, because there is no proper investment into or sufficient investment into the assets of the municipality, most of the ratios there are in the red. With regards to the depreciation as well, the system or the reports that we receive for the municipality, the depreciation is not necessarily accounted for. This is only done at the end of the year when municipalities submit their financial statements. As a result, the information that we have then in that regard becomes inaccurate, and that also then affects the ratios that we then have to calculate, because then once it goes into a rate, it means that there's a challenge with a particular municipality, and in this case that's the effect for Sekhukhune district. And also just to indicate that the financial distress risk are the assessment that relates to long term, because when you look at the okay, now this one we did put a slide now on the use of consultants. If you can see, although most of the consultants are not necessarily within the budget and treasury office, our concern is that we would want the municipality, especially on the fixed asset register, although here there was no spending as at the end of March, but we would like the use of consultants to be limited only to specialized services and everything else to be done internally. Moving on to UIF, the municipality closed at 2 billion, and those were the current additions. Our concern here is that whilst we acknowledge that the MPEC is functional, our major concern is going for how do we then improve on the preventative control so that we don't incur the regular expenditure. On the unauthorized expenditure, for example, that relates mostly to the non-cash items, where we are saying we need the municipality to improve on the budgeting process and account for the non-cash items during the year, so that then if there are any performance or adjustment that need to be done, then they are done during the adjustment budget, so that by end of the year we do not have any unauthorized expenditure. Unauthorized expenditure is one of those that we believe that it is an easy expenditure to actually deal with. With regards to the regular expenditure, it's about ensuring that the improvement of processing the investigations is fast-tracked, so that then at least we do not have this expenditure so high. But most importantly, it's about the preventative controls. If you look at the water tankering, those are the expenditures that have been incurred on a monthly basis. We have noted that the district municipality have entered into an SLA with the local municipalities for the installation of the boreholes. So going forward, our expectation is that this expenditure will then reduce, and any expenditure will then relate to the maintenance of those boreholes. So ideally, that's the picture that we are then looking forward to. Lebele Northern Water, that is the debt that is outstanding. As you can see here, it's 490 million. if you had looked at the ones that we presented earlier, the amount is far less on the creditors. So those are the issues that we are saying that we really need them to be dealt with. We have also noted that the municipality has applied for the water debt relief to National Treasury, so that all these old the municipality may not necessarily be able to pay off, and then it can be written off. Obviously, only just to indicate that the municipality is at a high risk of financial instability, not necessarily dealt with. I would like to then go through to the recommendations. Mainly, to improve on the credibility of the Section 71 report. What we need the municipality to do is to engage with the system vendor to correct the errors within the system. An ideal situation is for the municipality to submit the Section 71 report before the closing date, so that then we can then download it, send it back, and allow the municipality to actually for the municipality to implement the audit action. There are no qualifying paragraphs in preparation of the interim AFS will actually assist in ensuring that it is critical that there is an implementation of mechanism to prevent irregular expenditure and ensure on a quarterly basis. So, especially on the irregular expenditure, that's where we need all the departments, especially the technical department and the department, to put more emphasis on it, as these are the critical departments to ensure accelerate the investigations that relates to the UIFW in general. Or for the unauthorized expenditure, we request the municipality to budget accurately, consider their asset base, the debtors as well, at least on a quarterly basis, and review this expenditure during media and revise the budget accordingly. The billing and debtors management, monthly reconciliations are needed to ensure accurate and complete billing, and it is critical that the credit control policies and procedures are implemented to ensure an improved cash flow. With regards to the financial recovery plan, though this municipality does not necessarily under a financial recovery plan in line with what the MFMA would require, they do have their financial recovery plan due to service delivery issues. What we therefore need is for the municipality, as much as we have seen progress and the improvement, however, we need the submission of the POE on the activities that have been performed. Because once, if we can prove that it has been done and that there is improvement in the service delivery, then that will eventually also improve the financial management. With the water tankering, we expect that the improvement of the implementation of water-related projects will then reduce this water tankering, and the management of the boreholes properly will. Yes, on the water tankering. And also we need the municipality to implement the water action plan in order to improve the blue and green drop with the assistance of Coghsta, DWS and MISA. And we need the municipality to always capacity cannot be built within the municipality. And we need the municipality to improve spending on the conditional grants to avoid repeating application on for in the previous years. And that brings us to the conclusion of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Director. Dear Kaka. Okay. I'm asking, your report and this report, are they in sync? At most. No, because I'm going to ask them we want to make a comment here.
Not at this moment, Chairperson.
But I'm just saying, you saw the things that have been raised.
Yes.
You agree with them?
Very much agree.
Executive Mayor, these are the things that the Treasury and Coghsta are raising. What they've told us is that they are not saying you are good, you know. They didn't say you are good, and I don't know which assessment is that. They say you are not bad. Is that, can we good, fair? I say they are not bad. I'm just saying you are not bad, but I don't know what it means. But for the committee, both Coghsta and to make comments. Because today, and the mayor is not here, because we want to be serious about this. Oversight board. When we are an oversight board, we can make recommendation to them who are raising are very important. Because they said you are not marked that we are not bad. Né? But the members will raise certain to deal with. Let me start there with the members. Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs.
Thanks, Chair. And good afternoon. District Municipality and your team. Of course, I will start by a question which relates to the statement made by the team MF when he was dealing with the audit outcome of the which I want him to qualify it. Because he was saying the so-called clean audit. Whether that statement was just made loosely or yes, an explanation. The first question, Chair, would relate to the repairs and maintenance. I already feel that, in fact, in terms of the presentations that we made, it's not coming out very clear whether or not the municipality do budget for that, or they just take anywhere where they think there's money and to matters that relates to repairs and maintenance. The second question relates to WISI. I see that there was an allocation which was not spent on. If I'm to deal with the figures, Chair, 43,963,000, which was not spent. And I think it would be important for the committee to be taken into confidence. I must indeed appreciate the areas which are of significant improvement, and that is your funded budget, something which does not happen in some or if not most municipalities. I think that must be able to be appreciated, that the municipality is able to operate on a funded budget. The other area which I think I must be able to comment the municipalities with regard to the voluntary financial recovery plan. You know, when somebody feels that my body is not feeling well, and I must on my own take steps to ensure that I cover. I think it's something which we must be able to comment. But lastly, Chair, is to go with the audit outcome. I think the municipality has been a resident for far too long on qualified audit opinion. And I don't want to believe that that is a hopeless situation. But I think there are some encouraging comments which were made by the 18 MN in terms of the steps that are being taken to ensure that you get out of that area. But those would be my few comments, Chair. Thanks.
Yeah. Who's next?
But I wanted to make a follow-up on Honorable Ngoben's side. You did not complete your statement. So where you are commending them about you taking yourself from ICU, but they say you are not making a significant progress in terms of reporting. Whereas we commend you that even if you are not put by any statute, but you are volunteer, but you are not reporting. I think you must be
Who's next? Oh, Machete.
Honorable Machete.
Thanks, Chair. I just want to check there was reference of a strategy that seeks to address a number of issues in that regard, but I want to check as to when was it adopted, implemented, and reviewed. Because as said, it's like it's a new thing. That is one part. The second part will relate to the issue of your structural constraints. As and when you were presenting, you were also speaking to limitation or barriers that arises from your system. I'm not sure as to the effect of what becomes the part of that strategy in addressing these limitations or barriers as arising from your system or organization, in this regard, municipality. But equally, I did not get a sense except to just load and think that in that presentation, there's no clear way of determining whether they may at some stage you might have experienced what we could refer to as financial misconduct. That this could be unethical or any other matter relating to illegal activities with regard to our financial management, your budgeting and reporting. And I'm submitting that perhaps we should also get a sense in relation to that. Last part would be on the assets, which is an opposite of liability. To what extent are your resources owned, contributing to the success of the institution as opposed to the grants as provided for by government? And whether you are intending to formalize the communities for them to be ready at some stage as and when you are dealing with matters of service provision in the form of what? Whether there are areas that have been formalized. In this regard, communities that are ready to say, connect, we will pay. I thought I must raise those issues, and if your strategy is able to speak to that, also try to help me in that regard. Thanks very much.
No, thanks, Chair. Greetings to the delegation from Sekhukhune District Municipality. Let me welcome the report as made by the acting executive mayor and appreciate the fact that they've acknowledged that they got a bit of a challenge because they are much reliant on government grants, and there are some endeavors to ensure that at least there is an expansion of the revenue base so that the ultimate end they would be able to connect. But my question will be on one, even though I should think it might have been captured in the presentation by Treasury as well as in the recommendations there. But it revolves around the UIF. It seems there is a spiraling increment in terms of the UIF. What measures have been put in place to ensure that this recurrence is kept? And of course, there was an indication by the presentation from Treasury to say that the municipality has got a functional MPEC. To what level is the MPEC committee assisting the municipality in addressing issues of UIF, much more in terms of investigation, so that you are able to have issues of write-off? Thanks, Chair.
Thanks very much, Chair. Greetings to the delegation of Sekhukhune led by Councillor Ngozi. Given the two, and I understand why the delegation is like this, one paragraph belongs to you and one paragraph belongs to him, because it's about irregular expenditure and the leave days as per your presentation. Now, I didn't hear where you talk about the audit action plan, because part of resolving your issues, I think, should start there. I'm happy with the issue of your, you call it the revenue enhancement strategy, and having mentioned Fetahom as one of your biggest municipalities, but also in the municipality where these mines are situated, which means I'm not sure in terms of the strategy itself, what it says, and how are you intending to achieve that. But also, you spoke about the departments that are owned the municipality, that you are now at a level of reconciliation in terms of the debt. But also perhaps the issue of how you deal with Libellan of Renwood. MEC, I was once in that situation, the issue of Libellan of Renwood. And having looked at your presentation here, you're also indicating that there were some states where Libello could not produce the invoices. And unfortunately, they rushed to National to say close. But when they say proof, everybody who alleges must prove. But if you can't prove also, but the decision to quickly wanting to stop the grant, I think was something else. But I think, MEC, I'm not sure moving forward how the engagements between, because I know all water service authorities have got issues with Libello environment. And the challenge being, if I was just to give an example, the leakage between the source and the water service authority, the dam and the main pipeline, just to give an example of who should deal with that. And to a certain extent, the municipalities or water service authorities are charged the leakage, but who becomes the responsible person to make sure that those leakages are dealt with? And you remember the presentation by Treasury also speaks about the maintenance, repairs and maintenance, because I think you also need to look into that CFO. And we'll say you are the mayor. The issue of repairs and maintenance is very critical. because you are the water service authority. Obviously, on a daily basis, you'll have the breakages of boreholes and the pipes and all those other kind of things. So if you don't budget for them, I think it becomes a challenge in terms of your improvement of the audit outcome. It's true you've been sitting there, but I'm happy the fact that you're able to deal with 29. You have moved from 29 to 2. It says to you, you are a candidate of unqualified audit opinion in the next financial year. You are a candidate currently. Living here, you must know, we are counting you amongst the candidate of unqualified audit opinion. Now dealing with the two aspects, I don't think leave management should be an issue, honestly. That which AG even have to qualify. But the fact that they were able to pick it, I think is one issue that we might need to look deeper into it. But the issue of irregular expenditure, I think it's one thing that you might need to look into, especially on the issue of the planning, especially under R&M. If you don't budget for it, but at the end of the day, you are going to spend. Because if there's a leakage that needs to be fixed, if the borehole parts and all these other kind of things, you did not budget for them, but once Point says we want water, and our borehole has been broken for more than 3 months, you have to act, you have to fix. But the question becomes, from which budget vote are you taking the money to fix the borehole? So those are some of the issues. For me, you have a baseline that says, in this financial year, we're able to spend 4 million only for R&M. So meaning in the next financial year, you have to budget either exactly that amount or even more, because at the end of the day, you are the water service authority. People must be provided with water. But I think the issue of irregular expenditure, you need to look at with a hawk eye, because surely it's something that needs to be dealt with. So for me, I think you have to go back and look into all the issues that have been raised here. And I'm happy that some of them you yourself have recommended to say, this is where we have picked that our weaknesses are, and I think we're able to deal with them. So fortunately, living here, I'm chairing a portfolio committee of education. I think it's one thing that you might have to want to know from the HOD and the MEC. How are they dealing with this issue moving forward? And those that are sitting in there, especially Honorable Mikhobi, she's still outside. I know she's one of those that are sitting in the infrastructure, should also want to know. Because also it will speak to the budget of those departments. That if you know you are owing Sekhukhune this amount, you are owing Vembe this amount, how are you intending to pay them? But are you budgeting for them? Then if not, then what needs to be done? So you're for potential to raise a lot of revenue. You do have that potential. So it's gonna depend much on how you deal with it. You know your Makurutama is mostly rural, but Fita Home is where, and Fita Home Tubas is where you need to capitalize on and make sure that you raise revenue. The reality of the matter is that year in, year out, the bottle from Honorable Mahwai continue to move from 500 milliliter to 300 milliliter. It's going down, unfortunately, 250. Then at some stage you might not get anything. Especially because if you have developed your revenue enhancing strategy, out of that we need to see results. And we need to see how much you are raising in a particular financial year. So Chair, I think that's what I wanted to contribute.
Let me see.
No, allow the MEC to speak. Oh, MEC. Let the members finish first.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I can say that I'm in trouble. She nearly took it away from me. Thank you, Chairperson. I don't think I have much. Most of the areas have been covered. Except some few things that I just want to share with. I was also part of the audit opinion on the audit action plan, which she covered so well. Only a few things that I want to mention. On the unregistered properties is one area that I want to emphasize, that when you treat this should not just be treated as issue. The reason being, just to supplement what she said on the issue of raising funds for the institution. Because MEC, you know, in your allocation to public works, there is money allocated for this. And that is where your money is. Once you get things right on these properties to be registered so that they can be evaluated and you get your share out of that, I think will also help. The other thing that I want to emphasize was on that one, which she covered on the repair and maintenance, that it has shown that this is budgeted lowly, meaning that the infrastructure may be in trouble if we don't pick up or pitch up the issue of budgeting on that area. But one other thing, because out of experience, is on the issue of implementation of prepaid meters, or the so-called smart meters. I can assure you this one will do good for the institution. I've seen it, we're one of those who are now, we're not saying CDM is the best, but they've implemented it. And we're one of the victims. Victims in the sense that we don't have shortcut to get water. We have to buy. You just switch off automatically. As we said that you are in that plan. I'm just saying, make sure that you make it happen so that the institution can also have income. So that when you're having areas where they're leaking, you can also close those gaps. I don't have much, but I want to appreciate that when I added the word paragraph, the 29 paragraph to two paragraphs, CFO, you're really trying as the institution. In fact, you're not trying, you're working very hard to move from that level to where you are. I'm saying this because when you started to do the presentation, we were showing that most of the time you were outsourcing, but you managed to do most of the things in-house, particularly on the AFS. Municipalities are still struggling on this area of annual financial statements. They are always outsourcing in order to get it right, but in your case at least, you managed to get it right. So I think in other areas that might have been outsourcing, because the emphasis all over the country is that let things be done in-house, which also saves the funds of the institution so that they can be allocated for the service delivery to our people. I would just want to say, where people are doing good, we must also really clap hands. But you must be worried. I don't think that's CFO, maybe. Well, you know, at the school, when you get position 10, some learners will cry. And you must also cry when you are always on the qualified, that what is wrong with me. So I think you're trying to be one of those counted amongst those. Sekhukhune is doing well in many other areas. I don't want to say other things because it's a kind of so that we must know you. This Christian, I mean, Honorable Kakara and myself were deployed there. We're enjoying the good work that is happening in that case, both politically and administratively. So when this one moved from unqualified justice once, I didn't want to clarify why you said the so-called. I think you'll clarify it, but in essence, MEC, I think we've been told already. We have qualified with unqualified with findings and unqualified without findings. So clean audit is a term that we just started it ourselves. But normally it's unqualified with findings that are not that much serious, and unqualified without any other thing. And in that case, we have used it in countrywide to say it's clean. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see you. Let me see. No. Just wait. I want us to deal with these questions, our questions, and then we'll hand over to the enemies. I imagine that you would have listened to the presentation. There are a number of issues that they are actually raising, and there are findings, and there are recommendations. You know, one thing that I like about this meeting, Executive Mayor, you will have seen when the committee on Coghsta went to Free State. Livonus. Livona. It was not a nice thing. Yeah? It looks like something went horrible. And you can see here, you made your presentation, we made our presentation. Now we want you to respond on those issues. You may not respond to all of them now, but I think you are going to get a love letter from us as joint committee. We will give you time to respond directly to those issues. One of the issues that has been raised is that your response time is not good. And don't do that with us. There are major issues that have been raised. I know acting MM comes, CFO. You have Honorable Katarina Rahamara, CFO. Leave days at where we are now. In this, we can't talk about leave days. The two ones that you are having, right, is the UIFs. You know very well what it means. You are not there, you are not there to be loved by people. They are trying to cancel you. You are not there to be loved by people. For you to move to the next stage, you know what you're supposed to do. And Honorable Rafale says you must have an action plan. Remember, irregular expenditure around Kitorongo. I get it. Unwanted expenditure, at least you cannot know. Maybe bukile ko barikika ko kai mara follow the procedure ini. Mara irregular expenditure, it has to do with tenders. And that's where you are having a problem. And we want you to tell us how far are you with that. And she said, acting HOD and Treasury, you said something. Why are they not able to move from qualified to unqualified? I think when you come to speak, you'll speak to that because I'm actually interested in that. Maybe just take this round of questions, answer them. Remember what I said, for now, we will not be harsh. We'll just listen to you talking, and then we'll have a sure that all those issues that have been raised, indeed, you are up to the job.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, and thanks once again, Chairperson. I've noted, I guess, almost every question, Chair. And maybe before I talk in response, let me appreciate the comments and the recommendations by members of the joint sitting in terms of how the institution can improve going forward. The very first issue that I would like to talk to Chair, I think the clarity on my statement, the so-called audit, clean audit. And let me perhaps unconditionally withdraw that statement. So, and what I was trying to imply, the correct wording, actually, it is just one word that we've adopted informally, so, but the correct audit language here, clean audit is actually the
No.
yeah and
Don't go there.
yeah
Don't go there.
No, thanks.
I think you have apologized.
Yeah.
Because you see, in your professional thinking, you call it so-called, and members they take it serious. I can jargon. Jargon improves with people.
Yeah.
For most of Africa, like a clean audit.
Yeah.
Like unqualified without emphasis.
Yes.
As well as it's even. No, without matters of emphasis. Right, even. But I like a clean audit. That's all. It's just like when you are a professional. Maybe we're usually professional. So it's fine. We have apologized.
My apologies, Chair. My apologies once again. The second issue, Chair. The OMM and its related budget. True that we have underspent because the norm is around 8% of your carrying value at the entire population, at the asset that you're actually trying to maintain. And the challenge at hand, Chairperson, is that we are maintaining a water infrastructure network that is worth about 5 billion. And we are trying by all means to allocate enough budget, preferably 8%, which currently is not affordable to the municipality, because if you were to project 8% of 5 billion, it will put you somewhere around 400 million annual budget on repair and maintenance, just to be around 8%. And it really puts us under a very difficult situation to allocate such money on repairs and maintenance, given our annual allocation, we are equitable share, which is close to $1 billion. And then if you
don't justify it. Let me explain what members are saying.
Don't justify it, because what they are saying, just acknowledge it. One of the issues is that, you remember, you are a municipality which gets grants. When they give you grants, again, it's part of government is helping you to enhance your revenue. So you should actually start, it's an advice from us. They told us that actually you are saying you are collecting, when you said you are collecting, you are a 90-10. What they told us that you collect 18% and the rest is grant. So what they are saying is that you must get, like you said, you started with a pilot project. And we don't want you to have, this thing of pilot project. How do you want to still want to do pilot project when you know smart metering is working? Because you should be able to say you are rolling it over, so that you should enhance it. So I'm just saying, please, we are saying to you, we are concerned about that you are not maintaining your infrastructure. And that's where she will talk to. I don't know, maybe you want to talk to it now? You want to talk to it when, yeah. Because that's where she will come in and talk to the problem that you are actually having on that matter. Yeah. I'm saying, we are civil now to each other. We are just civil. I don't want us to go into those messy discussions. I'm just saying, some of those things, acknowledge them, and as you go back, you must read unto us what we are saying for now. Read unto us, because next time when we come back, it will be exchanged. Because for now we have to say, pick up this, pick up that. And when that's why I said, don't even attempt to answer everything. Just acknowledge certain things and say this one, that one, those that is, so that you go. I said you will write you a love letter, and then you'll come back to us and explain to us when you have applied your mind.
Okay.
Well, I think you are reading my mind, right?
Yes, I am. Thanks for your assistance. We do note the concern around the budget, the O&M. I think going forward we should correct. And also on the 2 paragraphs, Chairperson, we do note the comments and the advisory from the members of the committee, and we shall ensure that we correct. Also on the FRP, there was a concern to say much as we are reporting, but we need to improve, and we shall change. And then the strategy, the question, Chair, was very specific to say when was it adopted and when are we reviewing it. If you may allow, Chair, to indicate that the strategy was first adopted back in 2020, developed through the assistance here, the DPSA, and we've since asked the same DPSA to assist in terms of reviewing the strategy. But meanwhile, those parts of the strategy that are relevant to our issues, challenges, currently they are being implemented. And then the UIFW expenditure in general, we also do note the comments and the advisory comments. And in terms of the recommendations, we shall make sure that we implement as per the advice from the members of the committee. The Lebele issue, I think the member of the committee did talk.
Okay, on that one, when the mayor was coming.
Yeah, I'm saying when the mayor was starting, when we jumped in, if you were to look at your slide,
yes,
the mayor we touched Jamara, I thought you would, when I jump, just take us through, because actually an honorable Rahwan tried to touch it for it. One of them, the most newspaper, when the mayor wanted to talk to it, I thought Ulu would jump in the slide, said just talk to it.
Okay, no, thanks. I'll try and put it in short. It's a historical matter, Chairperson. I think the engagement started back in 2021 with the water board, where we were actually not agreeing in terms of the amounts which they would claim the municipality owes to them. There was an initiative, I think, from my office. It was in 2022, sorry, where and out of that process discovered duplicate invoices, which was one issue. The second issue was that most of the support. We've tried, I think, over a period of 2 years in terms of providing those supporting invoices. Unfortunately, they could not. We're coming out of that meeting as a municipality, we felt like there will never be progress. The two parties. We then, from an IGR point of view, involved Coghsta, Provincial, but the same two challenges actually persisted, where there was no, but while we were then there was letters coming from, or let me say communication coming from the dealer to pay this way, without having to know why are we not, where the municipality actually was not, there was a recommendation for a Treasury to hold the equitable share. First installment, the current furniture here. I think the first letter of the intention was communicated around the beginning of this calendar year. And the second letter, it was dated the 30th of June. That was communicating the instruction to withhold. And ultimately, when the money was due to the municipality, we did not receive them. That's where now the discussions with
what is the implication?
The implication was that obviously the financial implication is that we were supposed to get our 504 million, I think, by the 7th of July. We did not receive that. I think it came in just towards the end of July, after the intervention by...
No, so I'm just saying for members to know, is that the matter for...
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm saying if it's resolved, so I get it now, what members are worried what we are worried about is about service delivery. We are not worried. And as we are saying, CFO, we will refer to you, CFO. You have resolved the matter. You say the invoices, which we are expecting you to be able to deal with a service delivery. I think for me, I think even the MEC is here. We can't wait. We can't wait for problems. And then when we have problems, and then it's then that we want to solve. We are happy that we have dealt with that with the intervention of Honorable Nkakarin. She speaks from a point of towards an executive mayor. From here to that side, except chair, all of them. All these things that you are saying, they know it because they were practitioners. So I'm just saying we are happy that we have dealt with that matter. We wanted, remember, we're interested in what?
I think on that note, Chair, that was actually the very last issue that I wanted next to me, if you would want to.
Very encouraging resident qualify. We will want you to explicitly. Very honorable Nkakarin Uri. More. Remember, you can say whatever you want. Most of Africa, when you have a disclaimer, one not qualified.
Okay. But on the basis of your advice that I'm not...
Just to be specific.
Okay, no, thank you, Chair, on that. Chair, we, as indicated, we were able to move from two paragraphs now. And the paragraph coming down like gradually, so last one we were on 8 paragraphs. And the last one we were 2 paragraphs. And talking to the 2 paragraphs specifically, the irregular expenditure was more on completeness. Say the auditor is fine with our figures in even the prior year, but he's not covered. Why? Because there has never been any process of able to we were actually required to the opening balance starting from the 0 balance, which dates back to when the matter. So as part of the action plan, what we did was to actually break down and go to our in each financial year, trying to reconcile back to 0. Same applies to them. We went as far as okay, let me just allow my colleague here to talk to the issue that it is.
Go through the solution or what we have done and then maybe the current rate of progress. The first thing we've done in resolving this audit query is that we have discontinued because in the prior years, annual leave application coexisted with the electronic leave application. Now the problem with the electronic one was that it did not show the name of the approval, meaning when an employee applies for a leave, ordinarily there is somebody who approved. So that column was not there. And however, it appeared on the manual system. Therefore, discontinuing, that was the first action we took. The second action was that. Yes, the second action.
So you are discontinuing the electronic one?
No, manual. We discontinued the manual one.
Okay.
Then with regard to the electronic one, which did not indicate the leave approval. That included the leave approval. Because the main thing the AG wanted there was to see the leave approval. So that one has been developed, and we submitted the information currently to the actuaries to basically deal with the matter, and also as an input into the annual financial statement. So that is the progress so far. And I think, remember, when the AG was auditing, he actually queried the 2022-2023 financial year, 2023-2024. So we have submitted information for those financial years, but we've also submitted for the current year, which is 2024-2025, which, like I said, it has got no manual dimension on it. So that is the thing that I thought I should comment on. But maybe in conclusion, I wish to confirm, as I hereby do, that the Code of Ethical Leadership served in the Municipal Council on 27 March 2025, and that evidence in the form of council resolution to give Honorable a comfort. The COO, we did not fill the position of the COO. The reason is that our Coghsta, they were a pilot. So prototype means that it shows you a hypothetical staff establishment, or in a municipality such as ours, Sekhukhune, this is the establishment or organogram we want you to have. So in that prototype organogram, it excommunicated the position of COO, excommunicated the municipality is applying its minds in terms of regarding alignment with that prototype organizational structure. The last thing I wish to say a word is, I think, what the honorable member said, whether or not there is a financial misconduct. My comment on that matter is that we cannot at this stage, and the reason why we cannot, or there are bodies been established in the municipality to deal with that. For example, we have got financial of the municipal council. So according to them, we think we should treat those organs with otherwise, I was just saying that on the first issue, have you moved from 29 audit queries to 2? Remind these honorable members of our legislation that also Rome was not built in one day.
Don't.
We think we agree with the number that we are the candidate for unqualified audit opinion.
Also don't go there.
Don't go there.
Also don't go there.
Thanks, Chair.
Okay. The issue of ethics, you say it has been passed.
code of ethics.
Code of ethics has been passed, and we have an implementation plan.
So we have a council resolution.
Again, today, I'm telling one of us what is. Again, we were dealing with the issue of King 1, King 2, King 3. It's about corporate governance. And you must have, when you have a corporate governance, you must have an action plan to implement some of those issues. Again, it's about, remember, in that plan, you'll then be able to say members are declaring their interests, this and that, and this and that. I'm just saying, again, they will speak to it. I think, let me hand over to the Honorable Dr. Silam.
In relation to Travaya financial misconduct.
If, for example, part of the problem that why this municipality is stagnant, some of the challenge that you encounter is as a result of what you call financial mismanagement. And as a result, you might find that the officials found wanting within the and there are proper, or yes, of course, as it is been acknowledged, that there are proper legal system that has been put in place. So, from my the municipality will have the same understanding or the same, same understanding if there are, for example, officials who are in actual fact being of financial mismanagement, and as a result, that might, one or the other contributed towards the problems or the challenges that municipality is facing. So, not confirm nor deny if they are financial conduct. It's a problem everywhere, because in some of the municipalities that for example, I've went through their books, is that I found that there are serious problem of financial mismanagement. And one will then ask, what mechanism that did municipality came to deal with such financial misconduct at that particular space. So, but that's why now I'm the director for our because there is no way especially Municipal or staff, and as a result, I know you might not talk about that are not in your space to deal with that, but at this point in time, you should be in a position to know that yes, there are cases of financial misconduct at this district municipality, and you are attending to those things because already you have got the legal framework that works with, or that you have already established. I just wanted to submit to say it doesn't sit well, because if you are saying you can either confirm or deny, is a very dicey answer.
Said I must not go there. I said to you, this time, we're not going to be engaging into those kind of things. And a little now when you answer, avoid provoking Honorable Director. I give it political issues of literally you want IFW. Yeah. I get only irregular expenditure. After irregular expenditure, it suggests something. Again, remember, we are dealing with this thing on a daily basis. Right? Irregular expenditure, it means there's a tender problem or something like that. And that's why Honorable Chair says, no. Don't say we can't confirm or what. Just say we are attending to it, and then I guess that's what you say for. That's what you normal. And that's why I had you. Even if you remember, you have dealt with the 2027 letters of benefits or what from the Auditor General. But you know very well that your head will be like you are saying. You have to start from the zero balance to where you are, and you know what you are going to have. And they are here. I think what Baba Treasury, to one of our Banitadi. Yeah, one of the Banitadi, what I have living more than more. And they are the ones who write off your irregular expenditure and unwanted. Let me give it to the MEC so that we should close. Yeah.
Chair, you see, we must also avoid pushing them to lie to us. Because I think what we're doing now, we want to push them to say things they don't know. That was a correct answer. Rather, what we can say is that next time when you come, because I've said here, he who alleges must, he who alleges must prove. The only thing they can speak in confidence is when there's an investigation report conclusive. Then they can, because now if they can confirm here when their bosses are watching to say, but from which point are you talking? Perhaps what we might need to say is that next time when they come, they must tell us if there are investigations on irregular expenditure. And what are the findings? Are the reports adopted by council? Because once council adopts it, has got recommendations which will then turn into an action plan. Then you can confirm that there are irregular expenditure and there are names of people attached together with what they've done. So for now, I think let's leave it at that, Chair. And say next time when they come, they can then confirm, because they must confirm. They may go back and be fired to say, but why were you doing?
I see hands, ne? Let's not go there. I can already, there is a register, irregular expenditure. Already there's saying, ne? Let's avoid certain spark a lot of things. Ne? I'm saying members have raised issues. Right? Remember, here is the parliament, each member says what he wants to say, and then the chair would summarize with his understanding of things. So now, you may even, someone might even say, we want to see the list of irregular expenditure. And what have you done? What is that? So I don't want to go there. I'm saying, for now, let's not go there. So
thank you very much. Mine was just a comment. I must emphasize, because if we speak in the language that you know, there's what we call combined assurance. So, and my focus then is on the plus the three maintained unqualified documents. I was thinking, even when you're talking about your structures, whether you have institutionalized adequately and appropriately internal audit function. But equally, I wanted to check the extent to which you can have appetite as a district where we have what we call centralization of audit functions. You know, the province uses centralized audit. In Treasury, we have a shared internal audit. I can assure you, in this province this year, there is no qualification in any department. And 5 of them findings. So in the next 2-3 years, you'll hear that input is doing well. But if the situation is dire, then I don't know your level of preparedness, state of readiness. I believe you submit financial statements at the end of this month. In the provincial sphere, the reason why you are that's why in some municipalities they resort to I don't know. I was just checking whether you may want to test this area starting from now onwards. First, to ensure that you have strong internal audit functions within your institution, and if possible, maybe at this district level, you have an overarching kind of structure. I know the section, the category C and B, exclusiveness, etc. But if we want to improve governance, we can be innovative. And because you are the first district to appear here, and you have heard that these members, they are very tough, I can assure you. That's why you don't have to, they know what they're doing. If you can look at that as a way forward, then you can ensure that good governance can be assured. Another thing, maybe as a potential, you see, the South African legislation provides that, actually the Constitution, there are 2 tiers of government that are given full responsibility of revenue collection. The National Revenue Fund depends on SARS, well equipped, does everything. The local government is given responsibility to collect, to recover authority. You have the first basis of revenue. But if you're going to be grant dependent forever, and this is what we don't pick up as a country, that we're putting money in municipalities that by now grant versus in-house to less, but it is increasing. So you are so ways of collecting revenue without necessarily killing our communities. So my submission to that is that perhaps this is an opportunity for you. I've seen a lot of reference things that think where you don't even spend it, etc. To ensure that you enhance revenue in a manner that you reduce the gap and use your own revenue collected to do what you can. So of this oversight, combined oversight mechanism, and district municipality can improve. You have had an opportunity. It was not a hostile environment in which you should even worry, but an area where you are actually assisted to do post-mortem of your own institution.
Executive Mayor, and we are chief. Kunano rendere quila. You have heard us. Can you? Lero quila Christian. Ukwelo remi siuri na. Tabayela nilula la kaiwa. Yela no travel we talus. Ya tabaya lerke o. What? Ya militenen. ONN. Le quilo de tableau de la bosila et tatata caspi. Et pour le voya. Le voya de l'oxy. Tabaya ya audit. What he said, he's saying you can't be doing well. cleaner. I use the word that they say you are not doing bad. Maybe your municipality is not to do bad. I think we are also things that I would imagine that, but when you live here, you are going to convene the municipalities that have been invited. They must also prepare that will look like your report, so that when we come here, that's what you said, again. And we have raised issues. Remember, they've raised law because remember we're going to report to the legislature about this meeting and what we intend. What our recommendations will then become final when they become House resolutions. We are saying we had a fruitful engagement. It was not all our currently which it we had a civil way of dealing with things. And we don't want to be taken for granted. One thing that we must say, we don't want to be taken for granted. We are saying we must have a civil engagement, fix issues that need to be fixed, make sure that issues that we said they must be attended to are attended to, and give us the report. I'm not sure that when they write the letter, the committee will be able to tell you at what point and when do we want to say something. Look, because the MEC for Coghsta is not here, I don't know, Coghsta, you have something to say. You are covered. Honorable members, I think you are also covered. Executive Mayor, you are parting short.
Thanks, Chair. All protocol observed. I think, Chair, we also want to appreciate, comment the inputs made by members. The Oversight Committee and the support that you actually give to the municipality. Chair, I think we have given us to run with it. We'll ensure that the recommendations stipulated are carried out. I want to thank you and also say that we also assist us with the sector department, county that owe us. Thank you.
Kena utlhang mamutla ba bangwe re ya magaeng rena re na makarapa mo toropong. So this meeting I said I thought we would finish by 1 o'clock, but I really feel I couldn't like how about film how about a pie dish like something or already something. So that's what we are actually saying, and we want to thank you. The non-verbal question group, but the mayor taking over can ever say, but the more recover the name recover because we want to engage with people who charge to deal with these matters. You know about the Provincial Maluka committee will know our calling to go to a Kamu baby. But thank you very much. Thank you, NSC. Thank you, HOD. The chair of chairs, the chairs of the two committees, and then Barry, no, okay. Barry, no. You are on the 20th of August. Both portfolio committees, with the following municipalities at Lower Home Legislature Chamber: Waterberg, Mazimbi Local Municipality, Rebellion Local Municipality, Modimula Mukopong Local Municipality. And then I just guess what you know. Nani Honorable Movin Kagwa, Legislative Melawarina, go announce lunch. Marakawa, Nalalumo, I didn't make like delegated home, a job. Kumang announce some corona. Our number Tapamato. So one is a labor.
Listen, get on. 97, and you'll get the tickets so that you'll be able to go to the dining room. Thanks, Chair.
Come on,